Okay, I think I finally got that adjusted to the point where you can see what I'm talking about. The inside of the box is laid out pretty nicely. The manufacturer of this transceiver was a RF deck manufacturer that did work for the Department of Defense, so you can imagine that they might have parlayed some of that experience and expertise into this unit. I think they probably did. I kind of like the way it's built. The first three PC boards are aligned onto edge connectors, which, as I showed you before, are readily accessible from the other side of the unit to catch test points and whatnot. You could also get an extender, of course, as you can with some of the older Heath kits. You could get an extender and put the board on top of it and get test points that way. But the first board here is it's called PC 101, and it contains a balanced mixer, the first and second IF amplifiers, a product detector, AGC, S-meter amp, and the audio amp. And I kind of like to go through the complement of solid-state devices that make up that board, because that's part of the draw of the Alda for me, is that it's all discrete stuff, easily replaced, pretty much easily replaced, not a lot of special ICs and so forth. So the complement of transistors on this first PC board is 5 NPN transistors, a dual gate MOSFET, a 9 megahertz mechanical filter, that's not a solid state device, and a couple of MC1350 ICs, and finally the venerable LM3900 for the audio amp. The second board is the PC201, and it contains the transmit audio, balanced modulator, side tone, and CW oscillator, and BFO carrier generation. And the complement of transistors there is 6 NPN transistors, one PNP, with 4 of the NPNs for the BFO, all contained in a CA3086 IC, which is a pretty common IC found in that era. The side tone oscillator is again an amplifier is the venerable LM3900. So that's board 2. PC board 301 is the transmit amp, AGC amp, RX, RF amp, HF mixer, oscillator buffer, filters for 80, 40, and 15. And the complement there is 6 NPN transistors, a FET, and a slew of toroids for the filters. So really not a high parts count radio in any manner of speaking. Here's the crystal the crystal calibrator. Down in here we see the VFO, very nicely done in a rounded metal shielded box connected to the main VFO tuning cap. And that tuning cap is connected, you can't see it because it's below the crystal oscillator here, to the front dial, which operates with a 2-speed reversing gear mechanism. And this is very nice, because when in the primary speed and the slow speed for fine tuning, it takes about 1 rotation to move the capacitor. I'm guessing not much more than 1/8 of an inch. So that's very, very, very fine tuning. And it's also different than some rigs in that they're slowing the rate of tuning on the main cap rather than having an extra smaller cap or something like that ganged in. So it's a little bit unique that way, and this drive is very unique. A little hard to get used to, as I mentioned in my other video. But when it hits the stop and the reversing action takes over, the 2-speed gear goes into high speed, and you can see that it moves the cap very quickly. In just about 3 rounds, you're down all the way meshed on the tuning cap. So it's very interesting. And I kind of like it. Not everybody does. Some people call that the main sticking point on the Alda. Here we have the band switching arrangement. In this particular case, it's for 80, 40, and 15, and you can't see them very well, but there's some toroids down in there that make that happen. Here is the TR, the transmit receive relay. And back here is the RF deck, the power, and now you can't see that very well, so let me bring it forward a little bit. I guess we can pretty much see it now. You can't really see down in there too well, but on the far right hand side in the field of view is a SD1285 down in there. That's a driver, about 10 watts or so, output to a pair of NPN power RF transistors, which in this case, in the Alda, are MRF 454s. Nice, beefy power RF transistors that are good for 150 watts in the Alda. Very nice. This is actually a little better than the Omni, the Omni D, which I also have, and that the Omni D has the little brother to these power transistors. The Omni D has the MRF 458s, good for about 100 watts or so. So that's about the tour on the inside. I think this is, oh, by the way, this is a crystal calibrator. Did I mention that? I don't know. And your speaker, and it's very simple. And that's kind of the way I like it. Well, there's your tour.